The scariest part of most Roblox horror stories is that they don't start like horror at all. They start the way a normal day starts. A kid loads into a bright, blocky world. The music is light. The characters look like toys. Someone's avatar jumps in circles. Somebody spams an emote. You're laughing, half paying attention because nothing about the screen looks dangerous. And then a message appears. It isn't a threat. It isn't violent. It's not even weird on its own. Hi. 2 letters that can mark the start of a friendship or the beginning of a crime. The internet has figured out something harsh. The easiest way to reach a child isn't by scaring them. It's by using familiarity and kindness. It's the same social features that make Roblox feel lively. And somewhere outside, while kids are role-playing in houses, building hobbies, and trading cosmetics, adults are watching the same worlds with a different purpose, looking for moments when a child is alone, bored, or hungry for attention. That's why you sometimes hear stories that sound too wild to be true, until you realize they really happened. A parent starts to notice their child hiding their screen a little more, quickly closing chats, and giggling at conversations they won't talk about. A kid begins staying up later, not to squeeze in one more game, but because someone is waiting for them online. Soon, things start to escalate. First, it's Roblox. Then comes the question, do you have Snapchat? After that, it's, want to join my Discord? Then it moves to private messages, then secrets. Suddenly, there's a second world that parents can't see. Sometimes it goes even further and becomes physical. In one real case, 2 sisters went missing after months of online contact that started on Roblox. Police said a man drove nearly a full day across state lines before the search finally ended in another state. We'll share that story soon. We'll also talk about stories where no one gets in a car, but the harm is just as real, where friendship turns into pressure and pressure turns into fear. We'll also look at what Roblox is doing, because the real danger isn't in someone just saying hi. The real risk is the path that a simple hi can start. But before we get into all of that, we need to remember why this hits so hard. Roblox didn't start out as something to worry about. It was just a part of childhood. So how did the world's biggest digital playground end up as the place where the same worried sentence keeps coming up? It's not what it looks like. To understand how we got here, we have to look back at a time people remember almost like a dream. Old Roblox wasn't impressive because it looked real. It was impressive because it seemed possible. When you joined a game, it didn't feel like a product. It felt like something someone made in their spare time, part experiment and part playground. You could sense the human touch in every rough edge. Maps were simple, but they had personality. There were sword fight towers where you'd chase strangers up narrow staircases and knock each other off the edge as action figures falling off a shelf. There were obbies that looked like someone poured a bag of colored blocks across the sky, and yet your heart still raced because your friends were watching and you didn't want to be the one who fell. Tycoons were everywhere, and they were almost hypnotic in a simple, innocent way. You stepped on a button, watched a conveyor belt start moving, collected money bit by bit, built walls one piece at a time, and felt proud of a base that mattered only because it was yours. But the actual magic was that Roblox wasn't a game you beat. It was a place you kept coming back to. You started to recognize names and saw the same avatars appear again and again. People had signature outfits that became part of who they were, like wearing the same jacket to school every day. Roblox usernames weren't just labels. They became faces you remembered. The culture had its own language, sounds, and little rituals. The famous "ooh" was everywhere, a small, funny sound that made failure less frustrating. Being called a noob felt like a rite of passage, since everyone started that way, and the word didn't sting because it was true for all of us. And then there were the events, the moments that made Roblox feel like it had seasons. Egg hunts weren't just updates, they were common memories. You'd explore maps you'd never seen before, searching corners and rooftops, racing strangers, collecting something permanent from a moment that would disappear. That sense of permanence mattered. When a digital world lets you keep souvenirs, it stops feeling temporary and becomes part of your childhood memories. Most importantly, old Roblox felt like it belonged to kids. It wasn't that adults were never there, but the atmosphere didn't feel like a busy city. It looked more like a neighborhood park, Loud, messy, creative, sometimes chaotic, but safe enough that you believe the world was mostly good. That's why nostalgia for Roblox is so strong. It's not just about the graphics, it's about the feeling. But neighborhoods change as they grow. And Roblox grew. Neighborhoods start to change as they grow. Roblox grew a lot too. When a kid's playground turns into a huge social platform, the internet's oldest rule comes into play. Wherever children gather online, predators often follow. Here's the disturbing truth. Roblox can be just as magical and dangerous at the same time. Millions of kids use Roblox harmlessly. Millions of creators build beautiful experiences. Most conversations are normal, silly, forgettable, the way kid conversations are supposed to be. But most doesn't protect you when a platform is huge. At that scale, early danger almost never looks like danger. Trouble often creeps in step by step, each week looking nearly harmless to an outsider. Week 1. A conversation can start perfectly normal. A compliment about your avatar, a joke about the game, a person who always seems to be online when you're online. Week 3. The questions shift, slowly. How old are you? Do you have siblings? Do your parents check your phone? Where do you live? None of these questions is explosive by itself. That's exactly why these questions slip past a child's instincts, because grooming doesn't start with something criminal. It begins by making secrecy feel like trust, and then almost every serious case follows the same pattern. It doesn't stay inside Roblox. For kids, moving to another app can feel like a sign of trust or belonging. Maybe it seems more private, or the new platform feels cooler and more grown up. That sense of excitement is part of the lure, and it's exactly why this move is risky. It migrates from Roblox to Snapchat to Discord to texts to private DMs to places where parents can't see it. So we move from theory to reality because these aren't just warnings. These are timelines that actually happen. There is no sound in the world like a parent saying their child is missing. It isn't just fear, it's disbelief. It's the brain refusing to accept reality because reality has become too large to hold. Case 1, the drive across the country case. In Martin County, Florida, 2 sisters were reported missing. Police said the contact began on Roblox, moved to Snapchat, and included weird grooming behaviors, such as gifts showing up at the house. A 19-year-old then drove about 22 to 23 hours from Nebraska to Florida. The girls were later found in Georgia with him. This wasn't a random encounter. This was planning, built from messages. And what makes that especially horrifying is that for a child, the planning doesn't feel like planning. It can feel like attention. It can feel like romance. It can feel like someone is finally understanding you. That's the cruelty of grooming. It turns the victim's emotions into a tool against them. Case 2, the "I'll come pick you up" case. In 2022, police in Clayton County, Georgia, said a 33-year-old man met a 13-year-old on Roblox, convinced her to run away, drove to Kansas, and brought her back to Georgia. The girl was located and returned home after alerting someone around her. Different outcome, same doorway. And then there are cases that don't begin with "come with me." They begin with something smaller, something that looks like a game mechanic. Case 3, the currency trade case. In Michigan, police said a man befriended an 8-year-old while playing Roblox and persuaded her to send explicit videos in exchange for in-game currency. Investigators said they found more than 20 videos on the child's device. Reading this, it's easy to feel shocked and powerless, but there are real steps parents and caretakers can take immediately. One simple safeguard: disable in-game trades or currency gifts on young accounts, especially for children who are new to Roblox or under a certain age. Setting chat to friends only and regularly checking which settings are enabled adds another layer of protection. The goal isn't to erase risk, but to put simple roadblocks between kids and the very tactics that predators use. Case 4, the blackmail spiral case. Florida prosecutors described a man posing as a teenage girl online using Roblox and Discord, sending gift cards, then blackmailing a teen boy into escalating content by threatening to expose what he had already sent. He was sentenced to 13 years in prison. That's what predators understand. Once they get one secret, they can turn it into a chain. And then there's the case that hits like a horror movie because it uses the oldest trick in the book. Federal prosecutors said a 40-year-old from Fairport used Roblox to contact someone he thought was 11, steered the conversation inappropriately, and then went to the Fairport library expecting to meet. Investigators say what happened next, and what he allegedly admitted about other children is not something I will describe here. If you decide to look it up, please consider this your warning. In late 2025, Roblox introduced age checks for chat and set age-based rules on how minors and adults can talk to each other. The company presented this as a new safety standard. This change says a lot. The platform grew so much that people could no longer just assume trust. And when trust breaks, people don't always leave. They just stop feeling safe. This leads to another kind of risk. It is not just about who uses Roblox. It's also about what Roblox has allowed to exist on it. Have you heard of the game Public Bathroom Simulator? And would you believe me if I said that it was a game on Roblox available for kids and adults, of course? And what's even crazier is that if you look it up now, it shows as no longer running. That's the point. A lot of Roblox's risk isn't one cursed game. It's the fact that Roblox isn't a single game. It's millions of them. And some games, by design, behave less like games and more like hangout lobbies. No objective, no end. And that creates the perfect environment for boundary pushing, because the longer the conversation lasts, the easier it is for trust to form. Here are a few examples of high-risk experience types that have repeatedly been criticized, deleted, or re-uploaded in new forms. Dating energy social hubs, like Boys and Girls Dance Club, which became widely known as a Roblox dating hangout and has had deleted/re-uploaded versions. Private room/party culture, like Meep City parties, which became such a problem that parties turned into its own subculture and were later removed. Club-style hangouts, like Club Iris, where the entire experience is basically hang out and socialize, not play and win. And I need to be careful here. I'm not telling anyone how to hunt for the worst content. I'm showing you the pattern. If an experience feels like a lobby, a party, a private hangout, or a dating room, it creates secrecy without parents realizing it's private. And predators don't need adult content to begin. They just need a place where kids can talk to strangers long enough for trust to form. And then there's a story that shows how messy this problem gets at scale. A YouTuber known as Schlep built a massive audience by trying to expose alleged predators connected to Roblox, sometimes using decoy-style methods and then pushing information toward law enforcement. But in August 2025, Roblox banned him and sent a cease and desist letter. Roblox's reasoning was basically, even if the intention is protection, vigilante methods can interfere with official safety processes and increase risk. Schlepp's reasoning was the opposite. He believes Roblox wasn't doing enough, and that public pressure is the only thing that forces change. And no matter which side you agree with, the takeaway is the same. This isn't a one bad person problem. It's corporate. Which brings us to the part that matters most, how this actually works in real life, not in theory, not in headlines. In the real pattern, investigators keep describing. Now this is where I want to bring in a voice that explains the modern reality better than a headline can. Because predators don't always hunt like a movie villain. They socialize, they blend in, they move kids off platform. And that exact pattern, moving from Roblox to another app, happens again and again. So just take a look at this part of the Sean Ryan Show, where cybersecurity investigator Ryan Montgomery explains why he focuses on Roblox and how predators lure kids out of it into other places.
These are little kids.
These girls.
Little kids.
And boys.
So what are the most popular games that the 764 cult is luring their victims out of?
Roblox, Minecraft, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat.
Okay, tell me about Roblox.
Roblox is the one that I'll focus on the most because that seems like the majority of the issues right now.
I know little kids that use that game.
There's 75 million active daily users. So it's the largest children's game in the world right now.
That's what makes it so frightening. Predators have always been around, but online games have made things easier for them. Because now they don't have to search in the real world. They can simply log in and blend in with everyone else. Can I ask you for one last favor? Before you do anything, know this. This simple gesture could save a life. Try this. Tuck your thumb into the center of your palm. Now wrap your fingers around it to make a fist. That hand signal is called the signal for help. It's a quiet way to say, "I'm not safe. Please check on me." Carefully. Parents, show your kids this signal. Make it something they can do without thinking, just in case they ever need it and can't say a word. And kids, if you ever feel unsafe, if someone's pressuring you, isolating you, or asking you to keep secrets, use the signal. Find a trusted adult and say, "I don't feel safe." If you ever see that signal, don't brush it off or wait for someone else to step in. Take a moment when it's safe to check in and get help if needed. Don't do it just because someone told you to. Do it for the person who needs you. You could be the hero they need.